Welcome to AS Creations Training and Competence Centre. In the course of the next hour, we will show you everything you need to know about wallpapering with wallpaper from AS Creation. We are going to cover every aspect from the list of materials through preparation of the wall surface to checking the wallpaper on the wall. Before we start wallpapering, you should know something about the different types of wallpaper, as well as the various symbols and tools used. This will be helpful in preparing a complete list of materials. Paper wallpaper is made entirely of paper. A top layer of printed or embossed paper is laminated to a bottom layer. Vinyl or satin wallpaper comprises multiple layers of paper substrate and a PVC layer covering the complete area. Vinyl and other types of wallpaper can be specially embossed to produce a relief look. Non-woven wallpaper is easy to hang and can later be removed effortlessly without soaking. Non-woven wallpaper is made from non-woven substrate material, which has been impregnated on one side. A paper or non-woven substrate is given a textured look by applying foam to the upper side. Special processing methods such as hot, wet and dry embossing result in expressive relief structures which may be glossy or matte. Gloss effects can also be created by applying glitter particles. Luminous effects are produced by using fluorescent printing inks. Digital wallpaper can be printed on many textured, non-woven or paper substrates. The new technique breaks up the conventional pattern repeat, which is repeated on every strip, creating patterns that can cover the complete wall. Since many different strip patterns can be hung side by side, the print format is virtually unlimited. Wallpaper is normally produced as a 53 cm wide standard European roll, although special formats from 70 cm to 106 cm are becoming more and more popular. Wider strips reduce the number of matches and save time when hanging the wallpaper. While these scissors remain the traditional symbol of professional paper hangers, they are increasingly being replaced by other tools, such as the straight edge and utility knife. A utility knife with breakable blade should always be on hand when hanging wallpaper. The edge trimmer is used in particular for a double cut. The wallpaper cutter with straight edge is particularly versatile and especially useful for cutting lengths of wallpaper or as a cutting edge for the utility knife. A chalk line offers a quick way to draw long straight lines even on ceilings. A conical steamroller is ideal for smoothing down a protruding wallpaper seam. However, it must be used with caution on embossed paper wallpaper as it may flatten the embossing. A seam roller made of soft plastic material is used for delicate wallpaper surfaces. The paint scraper is used to remove firmly adhering wallpaper and paint residues. A perforating roller or spike roller facilitates the removal of firmly adhering old wallpaper. Once the wallpaper has been perforated, the stripper solution can be better absorbed and dissolve the old paste. The Paper Tiger scoring tool is also used to remove wallpaper surfaces that are resistant to washing and scrubbing. It scores the wallpaper without damaging the wall underneath. The paste syringe helps to fill air pockets and wallpaper blisters. A spirit level is used to draw an accurate perpendicular for the first strip of wallpaper. When the first strip of wallpaper is hung on the wall, the plumb line is used to ensure it is perpendicular and can be corrected, if necessary, before being firmly pressed onto the wall. A paint roller with synthetic fibres can be used to apply the wallpaper paste, a primer or emulsion paint. Rollers with small naps are less likely to splash than those with longer naps. A pressure roller made from foam rubber or soft plastic material is very useful for pressing the wallpaper strip to the wall. It can be used on non-woven, metallic, textile and textured wallpapers. The sealing brush is used for moistening, neutralising, priming and pasting. To suit each task, there are different bristle grades in terms of liquid absorption and durability. In combination with a utility knife, the straight-edged wallpaper rail serves as a cutting edge on the wallpaper table. A utility knife allows to cut lengths of wallpaper quickly on the wallpaper table. Soft wallpaper brushes are primarily used to press paper wallpaper onto the wall. Wallpaper smoothers can only be used for wall coverings with a robust surface, such as smooth, non-woven wallpaper, lining paper or glass fibre wallpaper. They are also used as a cutting edge. The triangular straight is widely used to cut the bottom of the wallpaper strip. It prevents the skirting board being smeared with paste and is also suitable for use on carpeted floors. A wallpaper brush is mainly used for basic paper wallpapers. It is unsuitable for non-woven materials. A sponge should always be on hand to remove paste residues. These symbols describe the light fastness of the wallpaper. A distinction is made between moderate, satisfactory, and good light fastness. These symbols describe the wallpaper's resistance to water and washing. A wallpaper can be waterproof, spongeable, or highly washable. The pattern offset must be taken into account when cutting the wallpaper lengths. As a general rule, an allowance of approximately 4 cm should be added. Look for more detailed information on the front of the insert. If the wallpaper has a pattern with straight match, the pattern elements must be hung parallel to one another. When hanging wallpaper with offset match, every second strip must be offset by the indicated pattern length. Wallpaper with free match can be cut to length continuously without paying attention to the pattern. This wallpapering technique means that every other strip is turned through 180 degrees to produce a harmonious overall picture. The paste is applied to the wall covering, for instance using a wallpapering machine. In this case, the paste is applied to the wall. Paste has already been applied to the back of the wallpaper. It is activated by briefly wetting it. This symbol identifies special wallpapers with a particularly durable and highly resilient surface. The strips are overlapped 5 to 8 centimeters and trimmed with a double cut using an edge trimmer. The wallpaper can be completely stripped from the wall without soaking. The top layer of wallpaper can be peeled off without soaking, leaving the bottom layer on the wall as a lining. Remove wet means that the wallpaper must be wetted and removed completely before redecorating. The embossing is of high quality and retained during wallpapering. Matching curtain or upholstery fabric is available for this wallpaper. Before you start wallpapering, you need to calculate exactly how many rolls are needed, check the product, inspect the condition of the wall, and ensure that all required materials are on hand. The total wall or ceiling area must be calculated in order to determine exactly how many rolls are needed for the room. The number of rolls also depends on the length of wallpaper on the roll width, and the height of the walls. Sufficient allowance must also be made for waste. Before starting, you should check that all rolls have the same article number and the same batch number, and that you have the right quantity of rolls. To check the colour consistency, unroll 1 metre of wallpaper from several rolls and lay them out to form an overlapping fan. Check the consistency of the texture by folding the ends over one another. A spike roller is helpful in removing old wallpaper from the wall. Simply roll over the wallpaper several times to perforate it. As an alternative, a paper tiger scoring tool can be used, particularly on more delicate walls. Work with a circular movement to score the surface of the wallpaper without damaging the wall underneath. When the wallpaper has been perforated, apply a layer of stripper solution. The solution penetrates through the perforations and makes it easier to remove the wallpaper. Leave it to take effect for about 10 minutes before continuing. After removing the wallpaper completely, examine the wall and continue with the further preparations. The wall surface has to be examined thoroughly before wallpapering. It must be clean, dry, smooth, firm and absorbent. Badly damaged wall sections may need extensive replastering. A clean wall surface is easily identified by wiping over it. If the cloth is discoloured, the wall needs to be thoroughly washed and then set with a primer. Surface strength is easily tested by scratching with a spatula. Plaster layers must not detach from the wall. Adhesion of the wall surface is tested with a simple strip of adhesive tape. If residues come off with the tape, the wall surface must be set with a primer and all old coats of paint removed completely. Spray or brush a little water onto the wall to check how absorbent it is. If the water runs off the wall, it may still contain remains of forming oil or sintered layers. This problem can be solved by applying a primer or painting the surface. Non-woven lining paper can also be used. If the water is absorbed excessively and too quickly, The wall surface must be treated with a special wallpapering primer, for example. To set the surface, coat the wall with wallpapering primer. On an optimum wall surface, the water will be easily absorbed and does not run off. Before wallpapering on fresh plaster, check the residual moisture in the wall. To this end, affix a piece of metal foil to the plaster with adhesive tape. Wallpaper cannot be hung if condensation forms within a period of 24 hours. Further heating and ventilation are essential in this case. If the fresh plaster wall is too absorbent, it can be pasted first. The choice of paste is particularly important, depending on the type of wallpaper and wall surface. Make sure you use a clean container with clear, cold water. Stir in the powder uniformly with a wooden stick. Note the recommendations for use on the package. Use a sealing brush to apply paste to the wallpaper and apply the paste uniformly to the back of the wallpaper. Modern wallpaper pasting machines are equipped with numerous useful details. Compact units with short built-in wallpaper table and shelf are ideal in confined conditions. To carry the strips and to ensure they relax uniformly, fold the pasted strips so that the top part is folded down roughly 2/3 and the bottom part roughly 1/3. Do not crease the folds. Then roll up the booked wallpaper strip loosely. Ceilings too are wallpapered with the light, i.e. working away from the window. Since the inside edge of corners and walls is rarely straight, position your first strip roughly 1 strip width from the wall and not in the corner. For strips 53 cm wide, make a mark at 50 cm. First, fill the box of the chalk line with blue powder to stain the cord. Then hold the cord tight along the marks on the ceiling and flick it against the ceiling so that it produces a straight blue line. The first strip of wallpaper is lined up with a blue line. The wallpaper is pressed into place with a pressure roller. The excess length at the wall is cut off with a utility knife and smoother. The second edge is lined up exactly along the edge of the first strip and pressed into place. If there are any protrusions, the strip must be cut diagonally with scissors to mould it into shape. Excess lengths are cut off with a utility knife and a smoother. Holes in the ceiling for lamps are covered with wallpaper and then cut out with a utility knife. If you use semi-finished wallpaper, it must subsequently be painted. Always go with the light, working away from the window. In other words, start in a corner with a window and mark the width of the first strip. Then draw a vertical line on the wall with the spirit level. Hang the pasted strip of wallpaper over your arm and unfold the longer upper part to position the wallpaper strip. Position the strip parallel to the vertical line on the wall. The next and all subsequent strips are hung edge to edge and pressed into place without blisters using a suitable tool. Leave an excess length of 2 cm at the top and bottom. This is subsequently trimmed with a smoother and utility knife and the scraps removed. Complete strips should never be glued round outside corners or in inside corners over their full width, as they may crease when dry. For this reason, the wallpaper should only overlap an outside corner 8 to 10 centimetres on the adjacent wall and not more than 5 millimetres on an inside corner. To obtain a better bond on inside corners, they should additionally be pasted with a dispersion adhesive to which the next strip is then applied. Always use a conical seam roller to finish the seams, but without applying too much pressure. Never use a seam roller on embossed wallpaper. When wallpapering windows and reveals, measure a little less than the width of the strip from the inside of the window and make a mark. Now position the strip in line with the mark and over the window. First, cut off the excess width roughly and then trim it neatly with a utility knife and straight edge. Then guide the wallpaper over the edge into the reveal. A separate piece of wallpaper is suitably cut to size for the lintel, overlapped and neatly trimmed with a double cut. Wallpaper is not hung behind radiators, but is instead neatly framed around them. Doors are always approached from one side. The wallpaper is accurately trimmed along the door frame with the utility knife and wallpaper smoother. Before unscrewing and removing panels on switches and socket outlets, first make sure that all the relevant fuses and circuit breaker are off. Wallpaper pasted over socket outlets and switches has to be cut out accurately before refitting the panels. When wallpapering in arches, the strips are first hung beside and above the arch with an overlap of 2 to 3 centimetres. The overlap is notched several times and glued into the arch before a precisely cut strip is finally inserted into the reveal. A neat finish is obtained especially with patterned wallpaper by using corner profile strips, which can be moulded to any radius. Notch the strip with the scissors, apply glue to the arch and position the profile strip. Remove any surplus material. Allow the solvent to evaporate by leaving the glue to set for at least 2 hours. Then fill the profile strip. After setting for 12 hours, the surface can be sanded with a sanding block. If necessary, the profile strip can then be painted to match the wallpaper. The wallpaper strips are once again hung over the arch and notched with an overlap of 2 to 3 centimetres. Now cut along the profile strip with a utility knife. Finally, remove the excess lengths and check the result. The transition from slope to vertical wall can be wallpapered up to the corner, starting with a full strip. In the corner, the strip must be cut and a new strip hung in the bottom part, taking care to match the pattern. Excess lengths are removed with a double cut. Borders are more than just a decorative finish. They change the proportions of the room, break up the walls, create highlights and mark transitions. First, mark the intended position of the border on the wall. Then draw a straight line with the aid of the spirit level. Then hang the top half of the wallpaper as far as the line you have drawn on the wall. Cut the wallpaper off accurately with a triangular straight edge. The bottom strips are then applied at a distance of somewhat less than the width of the border. Lay the border exactly along the edge of the upper strips and let it overlap the bottom strips. Cut along the bottom edge of the border with a wallpaper smoother or cutting rule and utility knife. Then remove the overlap under the border. Finally, examine the wallpaper on the wall. Avoid drafts as well as excessive heating when the wallpaper dries. Overly rapid drying may cause the seams to come apart due to the tension in the paper. If the adhesive has not cured completely, the seam will also part if the paper dries too rapidly. The temperature in the room should be between 15 and 20 degrees Celsius. When hanging non-woven wallpapers, use a roller or a brush to apply the paste uniformly to the wall. The wallpaper strip is cut to length and laid on the bed of paste in dry condition. It is then pressed into place without blisters using a rubber roller. Non-woven wallpaper is made from a highly durable substrate material. If it has been hung correctly, it can be peeled off completely without soaking even after many years. Wallpapers from AS Creation allow you to design your rooms in a wide variety of different patterns and designs. Young, natural, traditional or design-oriented, AS Creation offers you just the right wallpaper from a comprehensive range of products. Break new ground and be creative. Combine wallpaper strips in different colours and let your creativity run free on your walls. For more information on wallpapers and wallpapering, visit as-creation.com.